And good afternoon and a wonderful, wonderful day. A playoff day.
Yeah.
2 games today, Ron. Ron Clark, my guest partner, my pal, my confidant, my good friend. And I'm Kevin Herbst, and we're going to be around for, well, you're going to have to put up with us twice today. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to the start of game one of the Wild Wild West League playoffs. That'll be the Portland Gherkins, who are going to be hosted by the Westland Knights. The Gherkins come in with a record of 4-8 in league play, and they were unfortunately not the team that came out on top yesterday with the home run derby. That episode was won by the Grey Wolves, which made Ryan Moot extremely happy. And then also the Westland Knights, an 11-3 record. Those three losses appear to loom big, but really when you actually look at everything, Ron, 3 one-run losses for that team. Two to
Yep.
the Pickles at 5-4, the identical scores of those two losses, and then a 2-1 loss to the Grey Wolves the other night that really kind of shook everything up and allowed the Grey Wolves to come by yesterday with their home run derby for the victory to move into the three
Yeah.
slot to play the Pickles tonight at 7:30.
Yeah, they could be a real wild card for this.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens tonight, but really today, because the Gherkins are going to be throwing Jacob Asa. And Asa had a pretty good outing, but one of the things after that is who's going to be the bullpen guy? Who's going to keep the game close, if indeed it is close?
Yeah,
So-
there's a question for you.
Yeah, and I know that the Knights have kind of had their run the most of the time with the Gherkins, so, hopefully that doesn't happen again today. Hopefully we have a tight ball game.
And usually it's been the second pitcher, whoever that was, that kind of took it in the shorts from the Knights. So
And
Yeah.
we're going to have a first-time guest on today, too. We're going to
Hmm.
be talking to Coach of the...
Moser.
Yes, Coach
Yeah.
Garrett Moser of the Gherkins.
Right
and
on.
he's a head coach who's not only talented with the brain. I've seen him do some great emotional things with his team. He talks to his team when they're over there, which is, a lot of these guys have been around the game for an awful long time and don't talk to their players when they're on the bench, unless it's just secretly one-on-one. But he's been kind of a coach, a cheerleader. He's a philosophy guy that's trying to get his master's degree going. So hopefully good luck to him on that. And he's also a singer in the choir. So we're going to be talking with Coach Moser. We're also going to be talking with Brooke Knight and kind of give you a rundown of game one of the Wild Wild West League playoffs. So,
I was going to say, who'd have thunk that a singer would have other talents?
hey, I mean, he's done, you look at some of these guys that come onto those shows they have all over television, and you never hear of him after that. But we're going to see what we hear out of Garrett Moser coming down.
Yeah.
So he's not only an assistant coach at Concordia, which Concordia, everybody is known and knowledgeable of that. But during his collegiate career, Moser was 2016 All GNAC second team selection. So we'll talk more in depth about his career, his situation, but also what he's doing over on the opposite side, because they are in the visitors' dugout tonight or this afternoon. And the Westland Knights, they just kind of, I won't say they're going through the motions, because now it's showtime, baby. So
Yep.
they have to really come out and do some good things. You look at what's going on. The Gherkins and the Knights have only played each other twice this year, 14-0 in the first game and 18-0 in the second. So 32-0 is the combined score of the two games. That doesn't really sound very promising for the Gherkins, but it's baseball on any given day. That's
Anything
the
can
reason that
happen.
in a normal season they play 162 games. This has not been your normal season. Normally we would play close to 60 games in a normal season.
Yeah.
But this has been one that has seen rosters altered a little bit from all the talent that's coming in. And that's been refreshing as well, Ron, to see all these players that, normally we wouldn't seed, in the or in the West Coast League, but in the Wild Wild West League we do. So it's really good talent.
A lot of these players would have been filtering off to other parts of the country, and this year they get all concentrated right here for us.
And it's
Yeah.
been absolutely wonderful to
Yeah, it has.
experience. I know that you and I have talked about it on numerous occasions, both on and off air, where, we kind of just look at each other and go, can you believe we're really watching this? So I know Alan Miller and John Ryan are in, the owners of the Pickles, and they're doing an excellent job. Ross Campbell's done a fantastic job of just taking care of every little thing that can be taken care of. So, and sitting to my left here, he's kind of like a mascot in a way because he can't say anything. But this would be the trophy that actually would be awarded tomorrow afternoon after the 5:30 game. So Ron, have you actually taken a good close look at this? This is the Wild Wild West Championship League trophy, so we're looking forward to seeing what team is going to be able to lift that. And then there's also an MVP Cup around here, and then we have the infamous. I think we're already up to close to 80,000 votes on the Alan Miller All Hair League team.
Oh.
So we're going to be announcing a winner of that, and we've got a special prize for them as well. So, you know, just a great afternoon today, but a great, wonderful weekend of baseball, and we're looking forward to. We want to invite you out. I think there's still a few tickets that do remain. We might have, you know, we're bumping it right up to the total. So come on out, hop in the car, take your Sunday drive on a Saturday, take another Sunday drive tomorrow, and come on out and watch the last 3 games of the Wild Wild West League.
There's still enough time to get to the game today, this evening's game at least, although we're still, an hour away from game time here?
We're getting down to crunch time. You see the grounds crew is, well, patiently or impatiently working over the field, getting it in prime time condition. So we're looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
I want to remind you that Ron will definitely give you a personal endorsement, as I will, of Lapita's Kitchen over there and all the wonderful food they've been providing.
Good stuff.
And then if you're thirsty or just want, you know, your typical concessions, Colleen Schroet is running the concession area with all of our wonderful helpers that are out. And of course you got Robert Jones, who will make many pickle fans familiar with the surroundings of Walker Stadium and turning it into, Walker Stadium South, if you will. Not as many fans, but that's going to be good for you because you're going to be one of the few people that will see baseball. And I don't mean that you directly, but I mean the people that come out and attend. So,
me too.
And you directly. I have a feeling there may be one player that's. We've tried to keep our distance between you and he, but he keeps walking by, and you know, I know deep down you really, really love the guy as a guy and a player and all that, but you don't want to give him too much credit because the guy's so invincible on the field. That's probably not.
Well, you know, I got him good yesterday. Oh,
you
boy,
did.
I've
noticed the glares going on between you two. I mean,
he struck out yesterday, and I said, "Oh, the hair didn't help you this time, did it?"
Well, you know, he doesn't really, you know.
Yeah.
Jake Fennings. Jake Fennings is the other Jacob taking the mound today. Jake Fennings, we interviewed him a little while ago, and Fennings is, he's a tall guy, tall drink of water. And coming to you from Post Falls, Idaho, something that we mentioned on the interview with him is how does a guy in Post Falls get noticed? But when you have the kind of ability, he not only gets noticed, he draws people into the ballpark, not only, you know, fans that are familiar with him, but the scouts that have been out to see that guy is just phenomenal.
Oh, he had this place packed with scouts his opening night.
That opening night, I was really kind of anxious to see what was going to happen if there was jitters on both sides from having so many scouts that they typically don't see in a West Coast League. But in the Wild Wild West League, where you have minimal baseball being performed around the country, you're also seeing some of the star college players that are from the Northwest coming in and combining their efforts to make it just a wonderful experience. I really can't say enough thanks to Alan Miller and John Ryan for making this happen along with Scott Barkus. So it's really been fun. So I feel blessed to be able to share this with everybody and just talk about it on an everyday basis. And really, you know, Ron, I've known you for 4 or 5 years now, but it was really good to actually get down to the core and get to know you. So very fun-loving guy. So we'll do that because I know we're not allowed to shake hands or anything, but do want to do that. So just kind of remind you that you can continue to watch when Carlo Jimenez expands upon the game, the situations, and really brings to fruition his skills and ability. Although in his first year, you couldn't tell it by listening to the guy. So great voice.
It's hard to believe he's a rookie at
this. It really is hard to believe. I've seen a lot of the guys come and go from broadcasting, and you know, Spencer Smith in the first year of the Pickles, and Ryan Buchanan, and then Judah Newby. So there's been a lot of talent that's come through that booth, but none with kind of a different resume than what Carlo has delivered. And you know, now
we have a pretty good track record of sending guys up the ladder to continue their careers.
We certainly do, and you know, I think that's along with the lines of what John and Alan offer to the individuals when they come aboard now, and I think that will be something that they can talk about going forward as well. You know, you look at all the help that's been done around here by all the interns, is, you know, that's what they're called, but they're, you know, they are
The overworked and underpaid.
Well, that's they're getting paid in valuable experience. And
Indeed.
one of the things that I know from being around sports for a little bit of time and the minor league level is that the more you can do, the better it is for you in the future. And they're definitely getting valuable experience all over this stadium because it's been fun to watch the kids grow too. Coach Mosier, how you doing? We're going to leave that guy here. We're going to bring you over here. So we only got one microphone, so we're gonna play the share game, and we'll go elbow bump first.
Awesome.
That's our tradition. We got to do the elbow bump. So sorry it's taken so long to get you in here.
Oh, no worries.
But you can see we got notes all over the place for everything that you can imagine. But we want to talk about you first of all.
Okay.
One of the things that I noticed a little while ago, I think it was about. It was when you guys were on the spot. You had to come through with a victory, and it might have even been that blowout game against the Pickles that you had. What was it, 8-1, I believe it was. But I just noticed the way that you spoke to your team is so much different than what you see the other managers. You kind of put yourself on a level to where you were really a caring soul. A lot of times what I do is I kind of refer to the coaches as parents. But you were not only a parent for the kids, but you also were leading by your vocalness, your support, your enthusiasm. Where does that come from? Is that your background, or is that just something that you were shared with when you were a player?
I think mostly it just comes from I'm 25, coaching a lot of 18 through 22-year-olds, and so the place that I come from is a lot different than maybe a 40-year-old who's had children, or the 60-year-old that's been around the game for twice as long as I've been around,
Sure.
And so I feel like just the place that I come from is a little bit different than those guys. And also just the fact that we kind of have a younger squad. I think that there's a little bit more learning that they kind of still have to do relative to some of the other teams in the league. And so doing my best to help them through that process.
That's awesome, man. One of the things, I've been around the Pickles for a while and have seen this jersey that you're wearing and this organization and this team come to fruition, but also now when you're experiencing it on the field, does that have a special meaning to you or any of the players that they are the first of the many that will, come along after it? And I mean, we might be seeing you in the same spot here for the next 5-10 years.
Yeah, no, I think that would definitely be something that I would really like, and I think the guys think it's pretty cool that, one, they're just fortunate enough to be able to play baseball this summer at all. And I mean, I tell the guys a lot that, man, I wish when I was coming through that there was something like this where the smaller college guys really have an opportunity to play in the summer.
Yes.
Because when I was coming through, it was really just the West Coast League, and if you weren't a pitcher from a small college, there was just not a lot of at-bats for you to go get. And so for these guys to kind of start to have this formation of this smaller college West Coast League affiliate level of baseball, I think is just really good for the Northwest. And I'm really envious as a young man that I didn't get to have the same experience, because getting to play in the West Coast League the couple times that I did was always a blast. And so these guys I know are really fortunate.
We're talking with Garrett Mosier. He is the head man in charge of baseball activities on the field, as manager, if you will. And Garrett, one of the things that I wanted to also talk to you about is the level of play that you are seeing now is kind of like all over the board. It's really a who's who of collegiate baseball, who's who of the Northwest, that have all been split up into 4 different categories, 4 different teams. But it's been so much fun. I don't know if you're having fun over there as a manager as I am just watching it and talking about it. This is one of the things that we get to do is, every day we get to talk to somebody new and kind of get that feel. What's it like for you?
I mean, it's just been a blast. I mean, having the unfortunate events of the global pandemic and kind of all these players losing their season, it's just been a treat coming out here every day. I mean, what better ballpark is there in the Northwest than this field? I mean, it's a lot of fun. And for me, being kind of a baseball fan historically, having the smaller town kind of farm team feel to this whole summer has been just a blast. And I'm really gracious and appreciative that I've gotten to be a part of it.
One of the things, too, you've had the assistance of JJ. Talk about what JJ's meant to you. He's pretty much the general manager for the Gherkins and somebody who's got a lot of experience around the game, particularly at this kind of level. But what's he meant to his relationship with you?
JJ has been the man. I mean, he was the coach that recruited me to Chemeketa when I was coming out of high school, and one of the first people in the Northwest that really took a chance and believed in me, not only as a player but now as a coach, because I'll be going back to coach for him at Chemeketa. And everything that I've needed, he's been there and helped me through. And I think one of the things that I really appreciate about Jay is that he's honest and he's straightforward. And when I'm doing something wrong, he's going to tell me. And when I'm doing something right, he's going to tell me. And he just loves the game and he loves people and he wants everybody to kind of be their best and get the best experience that they can out of this game that we're all so lucky to be a part of.
Well, and we're going to let you see if you can get the best out of these guys.
You bet. You
lean
bet.
on Patrick, familiar with Mooshcott's little brother Sam when he played for the Pickles, but now that Patrick's around, BMOC or BMOB, big man on baseball.
Oh, so, you bet.
Appreciate your time.
Thank
your
you.
Efforts.
Appreciate
Good luck
it.
to you today, and hopefully we'll be seeing you tomorrow night at 5:30.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks, Coach.
Go Gherkins.
You got it.
Go Gherkins.
The Gherks doing a good thing, and hopefully we wish them the best going today against a stellar organization, a stellar team. The Westland Knights have actually done everything you can imagine to make themselves look as good as they are. They've performed, and that's the head thing.
But fortunately, they're not invincible.
Well, then again, that's why, like I said earlier, that's why baseball includes so many games, because on any given day, anything can happen. But, it looks pretty invincible when you're putting the likes of Jake Fennings up there. Fennings has done an outstanding job. One of the things that, his 2 starts, he's got 5 innings, 7 shutouts, no runs. He hasn't gone any farther than 3 innings. It'll be interesting to see if his pitch count is up, if his duration is up. So when we get a chance, I think we're going to make room for Coach Knight. We're going to bring in Brooke Knight and talk with him about the feelings of the Westland Knights. Of course, they had if you really want to be right down to it, yesterday wasn't a really meaningful game for both teams, other than the personal revenge that the 2 organizations might have. I know there's a gentleman around here that's been taking pictures for the last few days, and actually since the Knights have been playing, he's been here representing the Knights and taking pictures. And he was kind of questioning, is there any animosity between the 2 teams? No, there's no animosity between the Knights and the Pickles. But it's just looking at Ross Campbell over there. He's a big, huge Boston Red Sox fan. But if you mention the Yankees to him, it wouldn't be animosity. It'd be a maybe not calm respect for the Yankees, but you got to respect when your other team's doing it the way they're doing it. So,
but it's still fun to dislike them.
Well, you can dislike them all you want. I didn't like broccoli when I was a kid, but I learned to like broccoli after a while. There he is, gentlemen. I was looking over here. I was looking at your colleague, your first base coach.
Oh, he's a lot better looking than me. Jesus.
I don't know. Let's talk about what's going on today. You've got an 11-3 Knights going against the 4-8 Gherkins. You guys have kind of put up some footballish numbers on them. And how do you keep the team grounded from, what the big goal is, and that's to play in tomorrow's championship game?
Yeah, I mean, we just had a quick chat. I think a one and done with, their frontline arms going. I think anything that's happened previously means a whole lot of nothing, really. Baseball's too fickle and too humbling. And, I mean, you look at the game 2 nights ago against the Pickles, 1 hit through 5.
Right.
Both teams are really pitching the heck out of it, and then the wheels fall off a little bit. But that's how quickly this darn thing can change. And in a playoff game like this, you're 1 pop fly home run away, or one boo-boo defensively, or 1 meltdown on the mound where the game starts getting away from the guy too fast. So I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be tough, and it's not going to be easy to win today.
Another thing too is I've noticed is that you guys have had to bounce back on some times. I mean, last night the game and then today the game, so you got a quick turnaround. And does that seem to affect these guys, or you just plug and play these guys? It seems like, but.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, shoot, in the minor leagues and big leagues, they got to do it, right? I mean, you got a day
every
game,
single
Sunday,
day you got to do it.
Getaway day, or a Tuesday, your businessman special, right? So for me, it's no. I think they didn't really probably have a whole lot more to do than go home, eat, shower, and sleep, right? Make sure they remember to throw their laundry in. So no, I think being a playoff day, there's a little more natural energy and the adrenaline starts flowing a little bit. So. Now, I think it'll be great. I like the fact that, I like playing in overcast skies because it doesn't, the sun doesn't change the game too much, and you just got to play baseball. So it's a beautiful day out here, and, it's anybody's to win.
And one of the things that we're also going to look at is Jake. It's a Jake against Jake pitching match, if you will. The other one goes by Jacob. But he's come in and really shown what he's all about, and that's an intense amount of ability. And the scouts have been out. I know we've asked you before if that's an effect, or does it allow the other players on the team that might, every single player you've got on a team he's got ability and incredibly. But what does it mean to have a guy like Fennings come in and pitch? I mean, is he going to be on another pitch count today, or do you think you'll just let him rock and roll? Has he gotten enough reps going through into this point that
he's been building up. We'll probably still keep him on account, just responsibly. He's got a bright future. We want to take really good care of him. I talked to Coach Dorman this morning just out of respect. I love Rich, and always chatting with him about his guys, and they're his guys, they're not my guys. So making sure that we're on the same page. He's tended to be relatively efficient, so hopefully he can get us through 4 or 5 innings if he's efficient. If he's not, we might have to make a change sooner. So, that's all we could ask for. If he can get to the top of the lineup twice with these guys, I think that'd be a real coup.
You looking at maybe Cooper coming in if you need him, or are you going to save him for tomorrow?
Probably throw tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today behind Jake is Jack Washburn.
Sure.
And then probably Dobb at the end if we need it. So, tomorrow we'll line up with Jerpy and Barnum and Stringer and Dobb as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
That's what I like. You already got it all figured out, man.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't. We got to at least have a rough draft, right? And it's got to be done in pencil.
That's I'm a big advocate of the pencil. If I can't find a mechanical pencil anymore, I revel the old days of a pencil sharpener. But I still got yours in the ear.
Yeah.
Kind of a little Bill Belichick-esque.
I've always had this darn thing. I started doing it years ago, and I always know where it is. And it's not my forte, knowing where the keys in the wallet are. So I figured I'd just jam this pencil in my hand.
That one. That's the important part of being a coach. That's for sure. One of the things that we kind of been teasing a little bit of your team. I'm going to be honest. We've been teasing a little bit, but from me, I used to have an angst against, when I was younger, I used to have an angst against certain quarterbacks that would tear up my team. But then as I got older, it became, even though they were retired at that time, the angst then went to respect. And that's one of the things I'm going to come away from this is just respect and knowledge of the job you've done, the relationship you have with your son, but also the relationship you have with each and every single player. And I haven't ever seen you go off. I haven't ever seen you do anything other than just instruct, which is, has to give a lot of credit to you. And, we've talked about your dad, Bob Knight. I don't know if it just trickle downs or whatever, but, and the other thing is, your intensity is much different than what we see out of your son. Your son, when he's between the stripes, is the most intense player that I've ever seen. And I love that. I absolutely love that. How do you balance your emotion with his and the team? And I've coached my kids, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
How do you keep everything balanced, man? It's
well,
amazing.
When I played, I wasn't as talented as most of these guys. I was a walk-on at Oregon State in both football and baseball. I didn't have a scholarship, and for me, I had to kind of be that intense guy. So I did play like that, probably almost overboard sometimes. But so for me as a player, I don't think, hopefully I've forgotten what I would like to see out there as far as doing things the right way, but doing them hard with purposeful intent. And on the other, in the same breath, I think for these guys, you got to remember that this game is really, really hard to do well. And I know all sports are, but between baseball and golf, I think there is just a ton of failure. And there's really, this is an individual sport played with a collective group of teammates, really. And so, nobody can save you. The ball doesn't keep moving when you throw ball 4. The ball doesn't, when you strike 3, you get to walk back to the dugout by yourself. So there has to be some real maturity, and that's where I think, I'm probably biased, but I think your baseball players truly do become, or softball for gals, I think they become some of your very best adults because they have continually failed. And you cannot walk away from a baseball field, whether it's practice or game, feeling like you did everything right. And that's kind of life. And,
that's the other thing is that, in the collegiate game, if you can succeed half of the time as a batter, you are elite. If you can succeed a third of the time as a major league level, you're a multimillionaire.
You're a hero.
And sorry to compare no money to a lot of money, But that again speaks to what you just said, is that it's not always successful.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you had a chance to, well, you were already here at the ballpark. I was listening on the way in to the Portland Trailblazers. Here's a guy that we look up to in Damian Lillard. Tanks a couple free throws in the last minute of the game and they lose, and here they were ahead, So, that's the thing about athletics, is it always tries the individual.
Right.
And even as much as baseball is known as a team game, you've got your starting nine, you've got your rotation, your middle relievers, your closers. You've got defined areas, but when it comes down, it's like what you get out of them is a lot, but what they've got inside themselves is even more important.
It is, and it's a real privilege. I mean, I do still really love being out here, and
it shows. I mean, I don't know if you can, you don't see what we see, but we see it, and it shows.
I'm fortunate, we're all healthy. These guys are healthy. I'm healthy enough to do it. I've got plenty of energy, and just the camaraderie with the guys, those individual moments that may not be meant for a team discussion with a guy, or maybe something does become a team moment where we can all learn something from it. So, and I try to check the glass a lot. I'm going to make mistakes out here daily as well. And maybe should have said this to the guy. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should have caught it earlier. Maybe I shouldn't have left him out there to challenge him too long because he just wasn't in the right place. So there's a lot of that going on, and it's just repetitions, right? I mean, we all need them. That includes me, and being out here is a privilege. So I'm glad we got this really short window of time to do it again, and we've been fortunate. It's been really healthy for these guys for sure, and for me included.
Well, and one of the things is you really have to figure out, should I say this to this guy? How's he going to take it? Those kind of things. I mean, you almost have to be a mastermind of, a Jedi warrior, if you will, to figure out, I'm going to let it go, or whatever.
You got it.
Just kind of want to show you something that this guy to my left has not been able to talk, but that's going to be awarded to a team tomorrow night about 8:30. So
that's a lot bigger trophy than we've had in the West Coast
Well,
League, so.
Alan Miller does nothing on the on the lease, so he's definitely the bigger the better. So we've got an Alan Miller all-hair team, which you, I, and Ron are not capable of winning, but
No.
there will be a player that's going to play today sometime that will be awarded that. We won't say what the award is, but it's hilarious, and you should get a chuckle. Also an MVP player, and then, of course, the trophy.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. I want to say good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure knowing you. It's been a pleasure getting to know you a lot better. So, as long as you're not in Walker Stadium with a uniform of the other team, we're going to have a great time.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Anytime you want more input about me, just ask Mike Parker. We've known each other for 30
I
years.
will. I'll ask Mike. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is indeed. So, pleasure, and good luck to you guys today.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
You got it.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks. That's Brooke Knight of the Westland Knights, and Coach Knight. Man, what can you say about the guy? I know that Ron, every once in a while there's guys that come along that you can just tell are a little bit different fabric, and Coach Brooke Knight is that fabric that a lot of different people are made of. Not many people are made of, should I say. So we're looking forward to today's matchup. It's going to be, and he laid it out. He had it all figured out. Who's going to start? Who's going to be relief?
Yep.
Who's going to be middle? Who's going to close? He probably hasn't had any sleep in about 5 weeks, trying to figure out. Let's see, if I have innings in that first game, he's going to throw 2 innings. If Phoenix comes in, it'll be 3 innings. If he gets to the championship game, we're going to throw him 5 innings. And he's got everything figured. He's calling the coaches of different players and saying, hey, is it all right if I do this with the guy? If I do that with the guy? And that's what the West Coast League, that's what the WWL is about. That's what these players in the field are about. Is just kind of communication is the must.
I've got to say that Coach Knight is one of the reasons why we get such a stream of good talent here in the West.
Oh,
So,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
I mean,
when you've got a guy like that who, I personally feel he should be, at a higher level.
Coaches want to send their guys to him.
Yes, they
So,
do.
Yeah,
They do. And you can't go wrong with that. When you got great coaching, it's like how many guys, and I hate to make a comparison to football and baseball, but they're still an athletic event. Coach Belichick for New England. A lot of people are just saying, he's the guy that wears the sweaty and all that stuff, but it doesn't matter who you put on that field, and you'll see with this year without Tom Brady what's going to happen. But it's another story for another time. But the Portland Pickles will be playing tonight. That game will be at 7:30, which you can watch on our live stream, both on Facebook and YouTube Live on those platforms. Joining Carlo Jimenez, I believe, will be Parker Huffman, who's my colleague in the ticket booth back in the Portland office. So we're looking forward to that. A couple things we want to talk about, just kind of in closing here, is the winner of tonight's game automatically moves to tomorrow night's 5:30 matchup. There's a couple of question marks as to, if you will, in an abbreviated season, the Cy Young Award winner. Well, one of the guys that's being mentioned is Cooper Barnum. And Cooper's brother, Brody, played for the Portland Pickles a couple of years ago. And, of course, his father, Bruce Barnum, is the coach at Portland State. Oddly enough, Cooper Barnum chose to go to Washington State under baseball instead of playing for his dad at Portland State University playing football. So he's a two-star athlete at
all right.
Yeah, so that's encouraging. And then Gabe Scoro. This guy is just doing nothing but smacking the ball all over the field. Often I hear this chant of scoreboard when he comes up. Is that you?
Yeah, I'm guilty.
Hey, that's all right. Guilty by association, but a good association it is, because Gabe has been, he's been hitting the ball all over the field. You know, he may not be the biggest guy, may not be the strongest guy. He's pretty close to the fastest guy, but his bat speed and his ability to find the holes has been awesome.
Good things happen when he's at the plate. That's simple.
And if you talk to people in the know about him, whether it's players or coaches or whoever, they always talk about what an even-keeled person he is, but how good things always happen for him.
He doesn't seem to get rattled by anything.
He doesn't get rattled in anything. So I don't know what Mom puts in those cookies that he eats, but by golly, you can tell we've had a couple. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that'll
I'm
be a
gonna
sad
miss
day
him when he graduates.
Gone,
I'll say that.
But we're going to get up and talk about some more cookies here in just a bit. Carlo Jimenez is getting ready for today's 2:30 action, which will be the Portland Gherkins at 4-8 against the Westland Knights at 11-3. So an exciting day ball game it is at 2:30. The evening game comes along at 7:30. So we're looking forward to seeing who at about 8:30 tomorrow we can give this trophy to. There's another cup around here that I believe is a MVP award.
It's up on the deck right
Is it
now.
Up on the deck?
Yep.
It's probably got some beverage in it, I guess. Most cups end like that. There's one that's a little bit more
Rory's
sizable.
bringing it down
Rory's
to us
bringing
now.
it right
Come
now.
on, Rory. Yeah.
There it is.
While
the
he's
MVP
doing that,
cup.
we should probably get our shout-outs out of the way.
You fire away, my friend.
Hello, Spike. That's our mascot for the show. Maggie at home. How you doing, kitty? It's good to hear from you again. And I've got a personal shout out this time to my daughter, her son-in-law, and my grandkids. How you doing? I know you haven't tuned in yet, but I hope you do. So have a good day now.
Ron, there's nothing better than family. It's a lot of times it's later in life that we figure out family are real important, and there's other people that know it from the get-go. So it's not how you're brought up, it's how you end up. So that's one of the things, and whoever is the guy that's going to tear apart this league, Ron, they're going to get that.
Yeah, that's a good-looking trophy.
That's a good-looking trophy.
Yeah, it is.
Who knows, maybe in 40 years there'll be so many additions onto that thing. The Wild Wild West League could have a trophy that's 200 feet tall.
Looks like you could put a whole 40-ouncer in that thing.
I think he could put a couple of 40-ouncers in there, and I don't know what it would be, probably Mountain Dew or something. I don't know. Well, okay, it wouldn't be Mountain Dew, we know that. But it's something that you cannot buy at the ballpark, at least this ballpark.
There you go.
Because this is a fruit of the vine-less ballpark. The fruit of the vine that you're going to get does not have a percentage after it.
Correct.
So one of the things that will have percentages after it will be the closing line when we see what's going to happen with Jacob Asa taking on Jake Finnings. An exciting pitching matchup. One of the things that we didn't ask Coach Moser that we should probably talk about real quick before we close is what's going to happen when there's a runner on base. Because if you notice, the Knights just kind of plug and play. They just start running. As soon as they touch first base, they're looking at second base. As soon as they're at second base, they're looking at Coach Knight over at third base.
Yep.
And this team has just kind of continued that. And obviously the scores 14 and 18 to nothing on both occasions they played. That's a little scary.
Yeah.
That's a little scary. So
They're
Well,
not afraid to dare.
they are not afraid to dare. And one other thing, real quick, too, is Ron, is that if you've noticed, if you've been watching the Knights games close, they start quick.
Yeah.
You know, they got a run last night, but then, you know, the Pickles were lucky enough to that 3-run triple or 3-run double, Gabe Squirrel, that cleared the bases. That made for a 4-run first inning. So luckily they held on till a late Yovan home run. But you know, just exciting baseball. What can I say? Really can't say much more, but other than we're going to send it up there. If you look up there over your left shoulder, you're going to see none other than our good friend Carlo Jimenez is up in the press box getting everything ready.
Give us a wave, Carlo.
Wonderful crew up there, too. You've got Kat up there. You've got Sandylands. You've got Gary Walker up there. I mean, they've done a fantastic job.
They have.
Roy's done a beautiful job. I mean, it's just been encouraging to watch the growth of our young people. And Daniel's over there helping out, running the camera. He's done a fantastic job behind the camera and over here next to Robert, keeping everything rolling. You got Ian over there. You've got Johnny. It's just a plethora of talent we've got around the park, not only on the field but off.
You know, it's just been a privilege to work with these guys.
It really has been, and you know, it's the
couldn't
future.
be a better bunch.
As long as they stay out of politics, I think the future's bright for all these people.
I think so.
All of these people. So, and if they decide to enter into that other thing, we'll just look the other way and vote for them anyway. So,
There you
anyway, enough shenanigans. We're going to make room for Carlo Jimenez, who's going to talk to you about the game. And we're going to get ready for the starting pitchers as they're continuing to warm up in their respective bullpens. And you've got Gary Walker over there talking to Robert Jones. Robert Jones giving his batting instruction. So we're going to let that be it. And we're heading on the trail back to we're going to saddle up and head on out of here.